Hello friends and welcome back. So as we know that troubleshooting and tuning is one of the critical section of whether you are working as an administrator or whether you are working in support. Okay, it is a very basic expectation from all that you should aware about that how to collect the different kind of a troubleshooting data, how to do the analysis. Okay, in case of any issues with respect to your application servers. Okay, so there are multiple tools, multiple commands are there. Okay, which we can use for multiple tunings and troubleshootings. Okay, so now in this particular session, I am going to cover one of the tool which is called the JConsole. Okay, which is a default native tool which comes along with the JDK. Okay, which you can utilize for monitoring the different areas of your JBoss server. For example, you can check the heap utilizations. Okay, in the main heap, along with that in the meta space, along with that you can check the thread utilizations, CPU utilizations. Okay, this is a graphical user interface tool, okay, that you can easily connect with your running processes. Okay, and you can check the statistics. This is mostly useful when we have to check the current situation of your JVM of or your JBoss servers. Okay, what is the current heap utilization, what are the current thread utilizations, and along with that some few more important information we can check with the help of JConsole. Right. So as I said, it is a native tool of JDK. That means it is by default installed with your JDK, which is inside the bin directory. Okay, so how to utilize that to check the statistics of your JBoss server? Let me explain you. Okay, so very first thing, uh, you can check it whether you are running in a standalone mode of the JBoss or maybe if you are running in the domain mode. Okay, and when we run this tool, okay, to which connect to automatically connect to your JBoss running servers. Okay, so we have two ways. One is the local connectivity. That means you can, if your JBoss is running on the remote server, okay, then we can utilize the some VNC server or RDP tools. Okay, whatever may be configured in your environment, you can use that one. So most probably it will be VNC server. Okay, so we have a standard way of connecting to VNC server and then to access the graphical user interface of Linux, which is running on the remote machines. Okay, so that is a very straightforward way we can utilize to check the utilization of the different kind of a parameters of your JBoss instance. Okay, so let me quickly show you how you can connect to the VNC server. Okay, and then how you can check the different statistics of your JBoss server. Right. So for that one, I am going to first start my JBoss instances, which is running on my EC2 machines. Okay, so I will take the public IP. Okay, so when we connect to our remote server, specifically with the help of putty. Okay, so to access the graphical user interface, okay, which is using the VNC server, okay, what we do, we create a tunnel, okay, on a specific port. So this is a very standard way, okay, to make a connectivity to your remote Linux machine to access the graphical user interfaces. Okay, and this method we use for multiple purpose, like for installation of multiple software in the graphical user interface mode. Okay, so in the tunnel of the putty, you have to specify a source port, for example 5901, and in the destination you can specify localhost. Okay, because we are going to make the tunnel from our local host, and then the same port which you have given here in the source, and then click on add. Okay, so once this is added here in the tunnel option, you can click on open. Okay, and you have to log in the same way as we log in to the Linux machines. Okay, so now I am connected to my Linux machine. Okay, and the tunnel is enabled, right, which we have configured inside the tunnel option on the port 5901. Okay, so now here to access the graphical user interface, we have to run the VNC server process. Okay, so for that we have to run the command VNC server. Okay, and then :1. So this is going to start your VNC server on your Linux machine on port number 1. And port number 1 means when you see here what we have given in the tunnels, we have given the 5901. So this the last digit 1. Okay, this is the same port which we have started here on port number 1. So we have given port number 1 for VNC server. So that means inside the settings, you have to give the port 5901. So suppose that this port 1 is used, okay, you want to specify some different port. For example, you have started the VNC server on port 2, not port 1. So in that case, you need to change your setting here. Okay, instead of 5901, you have to give 5902. Okay, so this is the way how we start the VNC server. Now, once the VNC server has been started, okay, we need to set a password. So we can set the password with the help of VNC password, VNC PASSWD, and here you can specify any password. Okay, so we have started the VNC server and then we have set the VNC password. Now we can access the graphical user interface tool with the help of any of the VNC software. For example, you can download this Tight VNC. It's a very small tool. You can download from go to browser and search for download Tight VNC. Once it is downloaded, okay, you can open this one and here you can specify the same parameters what we have given in the tunnel option of the our putty. Right, we have given the local host and 5901 port. So specify here and click on connect. So it will ask you for the password. So give the same password which you have given for the VNC password here, right? So let me give. Okay. So now we can able to access. You can see we can able to access the user interface, graphical user interface of the Linux machines here, right? So here we have to go to the terminal. Okay, and inside the terminal we have to go to the JDK folder for starting the JConsole. Okay, but before that, let me first start my JBoss servers and then I will show you how to connect with that. Okay, so I will quickly go inside my JBoss installation location. So this is JBoss 1, U01 JBoss. Okay, I have given the name, folder name as standalone. Okay, and then I will go inside the bin folder and I will start my standalone server by giving the -b and -b management. Okay, we have a different ways for starting it. It could be different in your environment. And why I have given here -p and -b management at 0.0.0.0 because it is running on the my EC2 machine. Okay, so to bind my WebLogic server on any of the IP addresses so that I can access it from anywhere, I am starting it with the help of these options, -b options and -b management options. Okay, so here I'm going to start JBoss in standalone mode. Okay, I will show you in the domain mode as well. Okay, so let me see. Okay, now it is started. Okay, so go to your VNC server here. So now you go to inside your JDK bin wherever you have installed the JDK in your system. Okay, and you have to go inside the bin directory. So let me see the location. Okay, and then JDK. Okay, let me go to the JDK and then 21.0.7 and then inside the bin. Okay, so here we have a utility called JConsole. Okay, so this is the JConsole utility that is come default with the JDK. So you can just start this JConsole by giving the dot slash and then JConsole. Okay, it will start the JConsole, and when you start it, okay, it will prompt you for which process you want to attach. Okay, so because we may have a multiple servers running in our environment, you want to check the statistics of a particular server. So you have to select the PID of that particular server. Right, so this is the process ID of JConsole because this JConsole is also a Java based tool. Okay, and it is has a process associated with it, so which is the port 965 or PID 9675. Okay, and as of now we have only one standalone JBoss server is running, which is this one 9472. Right, otherwise you can go to your server. If you have a multiple servers are running there, you would have to check the process ID of a particular server. Okay, so for that you can go to the server. Okay, and then with the help of ps-ef command, you can check the process ID. If I check for only Java, okay, you can see this is the 9472, right? This is my standalone server process ID. This is, you can see -d standalone, right? So that means this is the standalone server process ID, which is 9472. Correct. So now I want to check the statistics of my this particular standalone server, right? So here I will select the 9472 standalone. So this is going to connect to the server. Okay, and then it will display the statistics, right? And here you can see we have a remote option as well, remote process as well. Okay, so this remote process is different option, I will explain you later. So as of now we are attaching it to the local process, okay, which is the 9472, and click on connect. It will prompt you for the insecure connection. Click on the insecure. Okay, and within a seconds you will see it will connect to your server. Okay, and it will start gathering the different kind of a statistics or related to your servers. So this is the overview section, first tab. Here you can say this is the heap memory utilization. Okay, it is showing you what is the current heap utilization, and it will continue, right? That means it is monitoring at the real time whatever the situation of your JVM as of now, it is gathering all the statistics of your JVM. This is showing the heap memory utilization. This is showing a thread utilization. Live threads is 24, 54 as of now. And then you have a CPU utilization. And then you have a classes, the total number of classes that is loaded in your JVM, right? And similarly, you have a different tabs here. If you go to the memory tab, okay, it will give you the detailed statistics of your memory. Okay, here you can see the timing and then used committed space, right? Maximum space, and then you can say GC time, how much time the GC has been taken, how many collections of the GC has been done. You can complete see all here, right? And here, if you click on the drop box, then we have a different areas in the heap memory. Okay, you can check the utilization of that particular spaces. Right. So mostly when you are doing the monitoring, we are checking the two important things here. The first is the default one, heap memory is this, which we are seeing as of now. Okay, you can see here, but is the utilization, right? And along with that, now we have a meta space from the JDK 8 onwards, right? So you can check for the meta space as well. This meta space is completely outside your JVM heap. It is not part of the JVM heap. Okay, we have a different parameter for meta space that we can define. So you can monitor this kind of a different kind of utilizations and the GC utilities, the GC timings here with the help of memory tab. If you go to thread tab, okay, here you can see the total number of live threads and the total number of peak threads that has been created in your system. So peak thread has been created 116 and then live threads are 51. And if you scroll here, it will show you all the live threads on the left hand side. Okay, and if you click on each and every thread, okay, it will give you the complete details of the thread on the right hand side, what exactly this live thread is doing currently. Okay, it is similar to your thread dump. When we take the thread dump, okay, it give you the stack trace of each and every thread what the thread is doing. Okay, the each, so same thing you can see here on the runtime by attaching to your server and click on each and every thread. Okay, and you will see what exactly that thread is doing in the right hand section, right? Similarly, you can click on classes, so it will show you the total number of classes that is loaded in your JVM, right? So what we have inside the JVM heap, we have the different classes and the corresponding objects, right? And each and every object take the heap space. So when we do the troubleshooting of your memory, specifically when we take the heap dumps and then we look for the different kind of objects that has been created in your JVM, we look for what kind of objects are there, what is the frequency of the object, and the total number of or total heap size that is taken by the each and every objects, right? So this is the view that you can see at the runtime. Okay, total number of objects that is loaded in your JVM. Okay, and you can click on VM summary, so it will give you the complete end-to-end VM summary. If you want to check the complete end-to-end detail of your operating system, what are the different virtual arguments, VM argument that you have specified, your class path, your library path, okay, GC details, heap details, okay, and your CPU time, and then your virtual machine details, okay, and then connection details. So every detail will be listed here with respect to your JVM. Okay, this will give you a complete snapshot of the total end-to-end configurations and then live situation of your threads or your JVMs, right? And then this is a management beam option, okay, which list out all the management beams, okay, that is running currently there in your system, okay, which is basically used to connect to your JBoss instance to collect the runtime statistics, right? So this is the way how you can connect to the your running JBoss instance at the runtime with the help of JConsole tool, okay, by attaching your process and using this tool using the remote console. Remote console in the sense using the VNC server and then utilizing the graphical user interface of your Linux machine, right? So this is called the local connectivity because we have connected directly to our Linux machine where my JBoss is running with the help of VNC server. Now, second thing, if suppose that JConsole is installed in your local system, that means in your local laptop, and your JBoss is running on the remote machine, and then you want to monitor. So for that, there are certain kind of limitations are there. Okay, so JMX method, which is called the Java Management Extension option, is there. Okay, which to attach to your JVM. That means you need to enable certain kind of a parameters for your JVM, and then to run this statistics to access the statistics remotely. Okay, but the problem is that in the now in the latest onward versions, the previous JMX options are not supported, specifically in the your JBoss 8 onwards. Okay, so you can connect to the remote server. Okay, we have an option. Okay, how to connect to that, but it is going to connect only to your host controller. Okay, so if you have a standalone server, then it is good with the for the standalone server you can connect to the remote machine and you can check because that is only a single server is running, right? But if you're in a domain mode where you have a multiple servers are running, okay, then in that case this is not a useful because it is going to attach to your host controller. or maybe to your domain controller, not to your different servers. So if you would like to check the statistics of your each and every server which is there inside the server groups, okay, so for that you have to go with the first option which I have explained to you. Okay, you have to access run the VNC server, and then you have to access the graphical user interface console with the help of tunneling, which I have shown to you. So there could be some other option in your organization. Maybe VNC server is not there in your environment. There could be RDP or some other process or methods are there for remote connectivity, which you can check with your system admin team. Okay, if VNC server is not there, then what is the way to access the graphical user interface of your Linux machine? Okay, and that is a straightforward way, and this is a recommended way as well. Okay, but let me tell you the remote connectivity as well. So, for example, if you have JDK in your local system, you want to connect to a remote machine. Okay, so as I said, it is helpful for your standalone mode. Okay, so first I will show you standalone mode. Okay, how to connect, and then how to check the statistics. To connect to your JBoss instance, or you can say JConsole from locally. Okay, so if I show you again what the command we have run in the local access. Okay, local remote access, we have given only the // and JConsole, right? Because this command we were running at the same Linux machine with the help of VNC server by accessing it locally, or you can say by remotely access, right? So now we have to access this JConsole from the local machine. So for that, we need to run this command. Okay, that means with the JConsole, we have to specify the path, okay, for the jboss-client.jar file. So this jar file is come along with when you install the JDK. You can search in your installation folder, okay, and then either you can specify the path of this jar file, or you can take this jar file, copy it in any location, and then you can specify the path here. So I have taken this jar file from my JBoss installation directory, and I have copied in my local system in the d:/jboss-client directory. So I have specified the complete path here, right? So take this command. Okay, once the JBoss client is there, then go to your command prompt and run this command. Okay, so now when you will run this command, okay, then now we are not able to see any PID because there is no local process, right? Because our JBoss is running on the remote machine, and now we are trying to connect to the remote machine with the help of this JConsole, which we are accessing from our local machine. I am accessing it from my Windows machine, correct? This JDK and this JConsole is my local Windows machine, not on my remote machine. Correct. So here we have to select the remote process, and when we select the remote process, so we have certain command format here. We can specify like this one for the remote connectivity. Okay, and this is the IP address of the machine where your JBoss is running. So I will quickly take my public IP of my EC2 machine, and I will replace this with my public IP. Okay, and 9990 is the default port of your admin or your host controller. Okay, so this is the detail we need to provide for the connectivity. Okay, so by default, as I said in the JBoss 8 onwards, okay, you have a JMX connectivity by default on the port 9990, which is the host controller, or you can say the domain controller port. Okay, so you can take this command, or you can say the complete syntax, and you need to specify inside your remote process here. Okay, and here you have to specify your JBoss username and password, whatever you use to log into your JBoss instance. So in my case, it is JBoss and JBoss123, and let me click on connect. Okay, so now it is connecting to your remote instance, okay, from your local machine. Okay, it will take some time to connect to your remote machine. Okay, and after that it is going to connect to my this particular standalone machine, which is running on port 9990 or my to a JBoss server. Okay, so click on insecure connection. It is the same way what we have seen here. It will prompt you for the insecure connection. Okay, and after some time it will be connected to your running server. Okay, so now again same way you can see here your overview. This will give you the complete overview of all the statistics, like you can see here the heap memory uses, thread uses, classes, and CPU uses. Similarly, click on memory. It will give you the statistics of your memory. You can see the current utilization. Okay, and if you click on here, you can click on the different options for to check the utilization. Okay, and similarly you could go to thread, classes, VM summary. So everything will be same as we have seen in the remote option here, right? So this is the way how you can connect to the remote JBoss from your local system. But as I said, it has a limitation because it is connecting to the running host controller only, right? Because this is a standalone server. Okay, so the standalone server, so this is going to act as my host controller as well, or you can also say the domain controller in the standalone mode. right? So by this way, I have connected to my standalone server. But now if you are in a domain where you have a domain mode where you have multiple servers are running, so you cannot connect directly to each and every server. As I said, there are some ways to specify the GMX port connectivity, but that is not working now. That is depreciated, or it is not, we are not able to use that one. So the recommended way is the first one, which I have shown to you. Use this local way to, with the help of VNC server, or maybe with the help of RDP, whatever is configured in an environment. Go with that one. If you have a standalone server, okay, only then you can use this process to check the utilization of your standalone server, right? So this is the way how we use the JConsole tool, okay, locally as well as remote, with the help of remote, okay, to check the utilization of your particular servers. Now suppose that now your server is running on the domain mode. Okay, so let me explain you this as well. So this is my command that I use to execute in domain mode. So what I will do, I will quickly stop the server, okay, and I will start in the domain mode. Okay, so now I am going to start my server in the domain mode. Okay, so that means I will have my host controller, then I will have my different server groups, and then I have certain servers inside the server groups, right? So for that, what I will do, I will quickly access my graphical interface of the JBoss, and I will show you, okay, what I have there in the domain mode. So let me go to, and then 9990, then slash console. Okay, so now if I go to my runtime and then I go to host, so I have only one host, but I go to server groups. I have two server groups, main server groups and other server groups. Inside the main server groups, I have two servers are running with the name of primary, server 1 and server 2. Similarly, in the other server group, I have one server with the name of server 3. Let me start it as well. Right. So now we have, this is the our primary, which is called the domain controller now, because I have started in the domain mode. Correct. And I have the two server groups where I have three servers. In the main server group, I have two servers with the name of server 1, server 2, and in other server group, we have a server with the name of server 3. Now, if you want to check the utilization of these particular servers, server 1, server 2, or maybe server 3, okay, so this option remotely you do not have. Okay, or as of now, there is no option for that. If some workaround is there, then I will add that session as well in the future. Okay, so if I now connect with the help of remote connectivity, what we have seen here, okay, with the help of this one, it is saying reconnect because the connection was disconnected. I have stopped the standard mode. Okay, let me close it. So we can't check the utilization of these servers with the help of remote option. But if you go to locally here, and if I start my JConsole with the help of VNC server, okay, so here we can see the process ID of each and every server. You can see here, right? We can see the multiple process IDs here and the multiple processes. Now suppose that you would like to check the utilizations statistics of the server which is with the name of server 1, right? So you can grab the process of that server. You can grab the process and then grab the server name here, like server 1, right? So this is the server 1, and this is the process ID 10468. Now go to remote console and you can look for 10468, right? This is the first one, 10468, right? 10468. So now you can connect to this 10468, okay, and it will start displaying you the statistics of that particular server. So whatever the statistics that we are seeing on the screen as of now, for thread, memory, overview, everything, this is specifically for this particular server 1. Okay, now suppose that you want to check it for server 2, so you can check for the process ID of your server 2. What is the process ID of your server 2? This is your server 2, the process ID is 10606. Okay, so here you can go to this screen. Now here you need to select the different process ID for your second server, right? So start your JConsole, look for the process ID 10606, and this is the 10606, right? And click on connect. So now by this way, it is going to connect to your that particular server. Now you can check the statistics of that particular server. Okay. So what we do mostly, if you want to check for the historical data, as I said, it is going to show you the current utilization, right? So you can open this tool if you have some issues with the server and you want to monitor it for some time. Open this tool, connect with the PID. Okay, and let this screen be open. Do not close this screen or this particular VNC session. Okay, and monitor it for some time, maybe for next half an hour, 1 hour, or 2 hour of a time, or maybe more than that as well. Okay, so it will give you the complete end-to-end statistics of the JVM. So it is mostly useful when we feel that okay, our JVM is getting slow at a certain period. Okay, for example, between 1 p.m. to 2 p.m., we are getting some issues with the JVM. So what you can do, you can open this tool at least 2 hours in advance. Okay, for example, if you're getting issues at 1 p.m., you can start this at 11 a.m. Okay, and then let it be open. And after that, it will give the statistics what is the happening between 11 to 1 p.m. and then what is suddenly happening between after 1 p.m. Okay, so this will give us some sort of historical data along with the current data for the comparison. Okay, so this by this way it is very important tool which help you to monitor the statistics of your JVM, right? So now hope it is clear to you what is JConsole, how to connect to JConsole, and then how to check the different kind of statistics of your server with the help of this particular tool.